Hey, what's up? It's Swamp, back for the second part of the router, animate the router tutorial. Okay, so let's get him down and let's get, let's get him down here and get started immediately. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to smooth that transition right there. So, what we have to start off with is we have to get these positions of these dummy objects attached to the router. First, you have to move these out of the way because we didn't do it in the beginning and we should have done it. So anyway, we're going to do it now. So, crap. Alright, try not to move them too much. Just try to go straight up with it. Get it out of the way. Okay, these are the only things you can select when you try to select the dummy object. It always selects these first. So you just end up just moving them out of the way and it works a lot better. Just don't fight it. Okay. Okay, so now what we need is... Okay, so now we need the position of those dummy objects. So, grab the data source. We want vector object info. That's what we want. And we want 3 of them. Okay. Now the top one's always the left shoulder. Should have stayed over there to get it actually. Okay. So we need the position of this one. Okay, the middle one is the router's head. Okay. And then bottom one is right shoulder. Oh crap. Okay, you gotta be careful not to get the router. Make sure you get the object. Okay. Okay, so now what we need is need a curve vector data source for each one of these. So we need 3 of these once again. Okay. Now this one, we're gonna have to start with the vector, so we take this vector here and this position here. Okay, let's just go with those for now. Okay, so now start vector is his head. End vector is center position there. Top is left shoulder. Start vector here. End vector here. Okay. Now we take his object position events. We hook them up to these vector sources instead of, these curved data sources instead of just the position. Sorry. I get confused with what I'm doing and I'm talking. Alright. So now we're hooking these up. Okay. This one hook up the X, Y, and Z position. Make sure you have local turned off right here. Turn that off. Make sure you turn that off because it'll tweak it. Okay, so there we go. Alright, now let's give these a little bit longer times. Then I like ease in out. Okay, so now see that's a lot smoother. We could even give it more time and just kind of ease them up there. See, it just flows them up. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to rotate him. So we need a object position event. Okay, so first we're gonna get the router's positions. Those 3 objects attached to the router. We need to turn those. That one. That one. And that one. Okay, now also we need to glue these together. Glue those 3 things together. Okay, and then we're going to turn it too. And that's actually what we're going to be animating, but to turn the router, to move forward and backward on just on one plane, you don't have to do that. But to turn him, you have to turn the objects that are attached to him too, or he'll twist. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put a delay in to start the whole thing first. So we grab a delay. Let's give it a minute, a second. Start the whole thing, and then once again use the last checkpoint to trigger things starting. So we give us a delay for 1 second, and then it throws them off. Okay, so now what happened there was we forgot to turn these off, and they had started when I clicked play, and they had ended before it got to animating him. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn these on also with everything. So turn off those, turn them on with this. So it waits, and then it moves them up. So that's what we want. Alright, now let's test it. Sometimes when you do this and you test just by hitting play, it's different from when you actually test it. So there, and then it grabs them and pulls them back. Okay, that's nice and smooth. Okay, so now let's try to rotate it. Okay, so now what you need to do to rotate this is we're going to put in a curved data source to rotate it with. And I did this before, so I know which one to click, but sometimes you got to play around with the rotations. So yaw is what we want. Okay, so now we're going to put in another delay because we don't want him to turn until he's all the way over. So we're going to delay this again. Then we need another delay to turn it off. So what's going to happen is we need an interval trigger to power this. And see, sometimes I've done this where the interval trigger works when you disable the OPE, but sometimes it doesn't. So, and I'm not sure why that is. I haven't gotten that far deep into it. So, okay, now we need 2 state events. Okay, 1 state event to turn this whole thing off, and then 1 state event to turn this whole thing off. On and off, sorry. On and off. Okay, so on, so we're going to turn on this, this, and this. Okay, so now let's turn these off. This delayed impulse. How long was that turn? Okay, you gotta check this length of this turn. 262. So I'll go 263. Want to make sure everything's done. So just go 1 tick past. Sorry. 1 tick on. Okay, so we turn this on. Come from here, this impulse continues down to our delay, and then it will turn on these. Now we need to turn these off. Okay, turn this off. Okay, alright, so now let's test it. Blink. Okay, pulls him up, and it should turn him. Yes, there we go. Okay, so that's how you turn him. Alright, now, to move him, you're going to move these objects once again, but what we're going to do is you have to turn off whatever you're doing to him because it will not happen, because once this thing is, unless, you can do a couple of things. You can either turn off this with the disable after so many impulses, or you can just turn it off with a state event. I use state events and just come through and turn things on and off. Okay, so duration is 60. So we want to make this impulse go to this delay. So it starts it. It goes to a delay impulse, waits for 60, and then turns them off. I'll turn off. You know what? I'll try this. No, not turn off this. See if we can still use this delay impulse through here. Okay, so now I need to copy this stuff if you want to move them another direction. Copy everything but the OPE because unhooking those is really hard. So let's just go over here with this. Okay, so we come off of. We need a new object position event because that one's already hooked up to the rider. It's a pain trying to get him unhooked, so let's just rehook this up to this because we want to move just this now. Once we've rotated, like I said, you just rotate the rider. You want to manipulate these objects on the rider, but if you're not going to rotate them, then don't worry about it. Okay, so here we are with this. Okay, so now we come from here, and we can go straight to the on, actually, because we don't need a delay from that part, because we're not delaying anything out. Well, yes, we should. No, because it turned him, yeah, it turned him off right when he finished rotating. That's when it turns him off. So then we continue with this one. Now this object position event, we can move, let's just take the X position. I think it's X, we'll see. And move it 4 meters. Okay, so how long is that going to take? 60 seconds. I mean 60 takes. Okay. Alright, so let's try this and see what happens. So it grabs him, pulls him up, rotates him, and then it moves him. Okay, that's it. So that's how you do it. To just continue more movements, you can just keep turning things on and off. You have to turn these off or it's going to hold him in the position and the other one will be fighting it, trying to move him and hold him at the same time. Using different impulses. I've tried going through these with impulses. Sometimes when you turn this off, it will turn off the impulse too. And I don't know why. I've had it work before and then I've had it not work before. Okay, let me show you one more thing. See if I can get this to work. Let's try another state event over here. And we're going to turn off the physics joints and drop the rider at the end. Okay, so this takes 60, comes over, alright, and here just go straight to there to drop the rider. So let's test that. Grabs him up, turns him, moves him over, and drops him. Alright, so that's how you do it. So good luck. You guys have fun. If you have any questions, you can get me up on Twitter, SwampBalls, at SwampBalls on Twitter, or you can get me on PlayStation Network, SwampBalls. Alright, so thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Hey, okay, so one thing I forgot to tell you, just come back real quick. You got to put these points back. Let's move these back down to where you found them. That one always wants to get selected. And my cat says hi. Try to keep them straight when you move them down. Okay. Dang. Sorry. Okay. Now let's test the track one more time. Don't go too far by the point. And he turns, and he moves over, and he drops. Alright. So there it is. Thanks for watching, and have a good time.